Oh. 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 Welcome to Meaningful Morning. In March of 2022, the Russia-Ukraine war began. This is a struggle for many of us. Our community had raised $25,000, more than that, to help those in Ukraine. Now, fast forward a year and a half, another war has started between Israel and Palestine. And this is consuming a lot of our space and time and energy in an unhealthy way. What's happening is scary and sad, and we're feeling this. In our Narada Bhakti Sutra course, I had amplified that there are two reasons to pray. The higher, gratitude, to simply be grateful for what one has and who one is. The lower reason, not that much lower, is purpose, for one is praying to Bhagavan to change what is happening to oneself, what is happening to creation. Let us all pray right now by relaxing the body, enjoying the breath, and praying with the mind. Pray to our Creator to help creation. Sahanau Vavatu. May all be safe. Ma vidvishavahai. May all understand. Faith facilitates all. Every facet of what you do and who you are is facilitated by faith. Rewind to when you learned how to drive. As someone who was born in Niagara Falls, I went to driving school. There's a graduated licensing system here. When I was 16, I had to take my first road test, that is a city road test. And part of this is one has to walk around the car to make sure the headlights are not broken, the tires are inflated, and so on. And one does this because someone is marking them. When was the last time you did that? Even if the headlight is broken, we still drive. See, we have faith that our car is safe enough for us to drive. When we travel to different countries, we are in nature, we're around water. Some of us tend not to drink the water from the streams in Trinidad or the mountains in Canada because we don't have faith about the purity of that water. What about your tap water? Did you test it today for the right chlorine levels? Faith facilitates matters like driving a car and drinking water, leave alone our relationships, our purpose. In verse 3, Shri Krishna shares, Sattvanurupa sarvasya Shraddha bhavati bharata. Try to visualize our center is as if covered by the ego. Om is covered by vasanas. Then next is Shraddha. If you want to force this into the BMI chart, it would be our intellect. And then that pervades the mind, breath, body, lifestyle. Or mind, body, and all that's lower in the BMI chart. In chapter 16, Shri Krishna took up our lifestyle. Chapter 17, why is our lifestyle the way it is? Our mind, beneath that is faith or intellect. Beneath that, unfortunately, is ego. Beneath that, fortunately, is center. That's where we'll be in chapter 18. Shraddha mayo yam purushaha yo yat shraddha sa eva saha. Humans, seekers, are filled with faith. As one's faith, so one is. Last week, when I was in Chicago for our Devi retreat, I was sharing with our divine women insights from Sri Rama Gita. And this map focuses on Shraddha or faith. And I shared with all a framework of 5 facets. Here are the first 2. 1, must have faith in sadhana. That's the first facet. Sadhana in English means discipline. Today, those who joined us for the highest vocation, I took out that hammer and used it. That those who are not punctual cannot contemplate. If you can't manage your time, you don't stand a chance to manage your mind. So I'm appreciative of all of you who are working hard and smart to be punctual. Tomorrow I'll share more insights about the danger of learning through social media and how this is making us passive. Not you, I can see you. I can see you're not eating anything, you have your cameras on. This message is for those who are not recognizing passivity. When one has faith in discipline, the second facet is in shishya. Faith in shishya, which means disciple. If you have faith in discipline, you can be a disciple. But if you don't have faith in discipline, you can't be a disciple then. Then, after these 2 faiths are locked in, that faith evolves to vishvasa, which in English means trust. Trust in one's Sadguru, one's Shastra, and one's Samhara, which in English is trust in our triangle, that is our guide, our map, and our divinity. Please try to connect the dots. If you don't have faith in discipline and disciple, you won't have trust in your triangle. And Sri Krishna's elaborating on this. We continue. Verse 4. More frameworks are shared so that we can classify ourselves, so we can evolve. Yajante satvika devan yaksha rakshamsi rajasaha pretan bhutagananschanye yajante tamasa janaha. Joy. Yajante does mean worship. We have made this more personal as dedication. Another way to think of this, purpose. Sattvika, those whose faith is of the nature of sattva. What is their purpose or dedication or worship to? Deva, to the devas. Reflecting on this, sattva is being filled with quietness. How does that feel as you go about your day? One is cheerful. One's faith makes one cheerful. And so one's purpose is the devas. And I do mean this in a literal way. Throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, there are many references to devas. So one's purpose is the devas. Making this less metaphysical, making this more practical, one's purpose is values. Values. Why do you go to work? To become a better person. Why are you in relationships? To convert values to virtues. Clear? Second, Rajasaha, those who are filled with rajas. In English, aggressiveness. Their yajante, worship, dedication, purpose is towards the yakshas and rakshasas. Personalizing this, one who's filled with aggressiveness, this is the nature of their faith, throughout their day they feel frustrated. They're cheerful, it goes away. And they're frustrated by this. Such people, they worship the asuras. In chapter 16, Daivi Sampati and Asuri Sampati. So they worship the asuras. More practically, their dedication and purpose is valuables. Not values, which are within, but valuables, which are external, which makes them extroverts. Now the bottom line. Pretan, ghosts. Bhuta, Bhutaganan, goblins. Very much in line with Halloween. Anye, etc. That includes werewolves, vampires, Frankenstein, etc. Tamasaha, those who are filled with tamas. Janaha, those type of people. Yajante, they worship these ghosts and goblins, etc. That's the straight translation. Here's the implication. Those who are filled with laziness, what they feel is sorrowful. cheerful, frustrated, sorrowful. Why? Quietness, aggressiveness, laziness. Suras, asuras, rakshasas. What this plays out like in a practical ways, those whose value is in making others valueless. The one who's rajasic worships valuables. The one who's tamasic, they find value in taking away your valuables and your values. That's the value they find in life. The one who's aggressive engages in self-harm. Living a life of valuables is self-harm. Those who are filled with laziness, they harm oneself and others. Final reflection. As I mentioned yesterday, in chapter 4, we studied one's varna gets expressed as one's guna, which gets expressed as one's karma. Who are you? You are your varna. In this chapter, this is being shared as one's ego determines the nature of one's faith, which determines the nature of one's purpose. What you do today may be indicative of your faith, and your faith is indicative of your ego. From inspiration to application. Your application was to subscribe to Chinmay Nagra's YouTube channel and to like, even if you don't like it, like our YouTube shorts. We are a community. Numbers breed numbers. The more I talk about fundraising, the more funds come in. The more I share that we have 1,000 people that we reach out to every week. As I'm saying that, those people who are so interested in numbers want to be part of this too. So help people find the utility in this by encouraging these numbers. The following, the liking, the subscribing. Do you understand why I'm asking you to do this? Do you think I personally care? But organizationally, there is a method to spreading the word. Your application for this morning is, you have this vibhaga, this classification of faiths. As you interact with people, I want you to classify them internally. Don't put this on our website. Internally classify. What do you think this person's purpose is? Values, valuables, or valueless? To make others valueless. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Be joy.